Hi there, Sharon. How you doing? Well, hello, Charlotte. It's getting stretched out. Mind me. Click, click, clack, clack. I think every year I add a couple of clicks and cracks to the stretch. It's good to see everybody. I see you. See? See there? See up there on top of the screen? I see you. Aha. I'm watching you in the chat room. And if that love and feeling shows up here. Oh, oops. Love and feeling. We found that love and feeling. Whoa, that love and feeling. We found the love and feeling, and she's here, and she's going to read your cards. Hi, Hall. What's going on, Heather? Rebecca, what's shaking? Riki Tiki Tavi, no si Rambi, Bari Bari Bushki Pari Pimpo is in the chat room. Riki Tiki's a really cool content creator. Why don't you say hello there, Ricky? Reason I call him Riki Tiki is because it's a book we used to read when I was in grade school. Maybe that's what he's referencing in his screen name. Unless he's passed through already. He better not have given me the 2-second swipe. Ricky. No bueno. Yeah, you know. What can I say? It's good to see everyone. So I am just in kind of creation mode here today, and it's time to cross this bridge that I've been thinking about for a while and how I want to do things around here. And how far deep into my creative practice I'm going to go. I'm old school, and the way I think in my head, is when I listen to music, I naturally assume people just want to hear something that's far along and almost a master and a release, and not see phases of a process. And one thing we found out here, and that includes so many of you here right now, but it's actually there's more, is that people like to see something being created. So I guess I may have underestimated how much I should be doing this, and I'm going to try to see if I can now form a bridge between the morning show and golden hour. Okay? Not directly just those two things, but what really happens is things are created on golden hour, these random things, and we can leave them there forever, like we just did. I just released why can't I read this? I just released this track from 2 days ago from Golden Hour, and this is the uncut version of this. And essentially, what you have there down at the bottom of the screen is an hour and 45 minutes divided up into 7 parts, or 8 or 9, I can't remember. It's a lot. And these things are about 10 to 15 minutes long a piece. And what we hear here is this me sitting down on the bench, and it's uncut, so it's got all the dialogue in it too, but it's got these themes in it that sometimes all of you listen to and say, hey, that needs to be something, right? Come on. Now we could leave it there forever, and I think most of you have inclined At least you've been inclined to say to me that it doesn't have to be. It could be just like that. The original version, the uncut version. But we could also take these things further like we did with Tahoe. And I know you know exactly what I mean, but I like to be vividly clear about these things. Imagine for a second, like, so there's like a 6-7 phase practice here that gets music from start to release, right? Have you ever seen in the chat room, have you ever seen one of these incredibly talented people that has a tool belt with a couple of small chainsaws on it, and when he's got one big chainsaw in his hand and he walks over to a giant timber that's been struck down to the size of a 7-foot high log, and he takes the chainsaw and 20 minutes later that log is now a face, right? There's a face in that log. He's carved it with the chainsaw. This is his chainsaw art thing. I always loved watching it. And I didn't realize why back then I loved watching it, you know? Looking at the wrong camera because it's got a new setup. Anyway. It was interesting watching something go from a log to a picture of a bear or a tree. When I lived in Big Bear Lake, you had to have one of these bears in front of the house. Everybody's house, and in the whole town, even if it's just a little small, quaint one. It's a tradition in that community to have a carved bear at Big Bear Lake, California. So, there's more than one fella up there that makes quite a handsome living doing that. I haven't seen any female log chainsaw art people up there, but I'm sure that there is tons of incredible artwork out there too. So when I say these dudes, I'm not excluding any women that do it. There just weren't any that I knew that were available to see their art at the time. And when you see something transform from a raw piece of thing into an actual real face, that is kind of analogous to what it's like when I'm trying to put out feelers like this, but it's different. What I'm doing is I'm putting energy out, whereas the chainsaw artist is going directly to the wood like this. I'm kind of floating in an in-between space when I sit down to do these things at night with you, and I just start moving my hands, and they start moving in a direction. And last night was one of those times where right off the bat, I sat down and started playing something that seemed like there was enough there that it might venture on to be something else, right? So going back to the chainsaw artist, it's kind of like, then they grab one of the smaller chainsaws and they start making more delicate cuts into this wood. And that rough face that looked choppy and everything else becomes smoother, and the picture becomes clear. And then other things about the picture that weren't there previously make themselves present, in the artwork. So this is kind of like the creative practice and the process that I'm using here. Let's take a look at this. So last night, let me pull this chat window out though. Sorry. I want to be able to see you. Okay, let's get the screen moved here now. So this last night is something that's been happening now for a while. This is the entire digital recording data from the show last night. So what you hear is audio out on your end. But what we have here is a digital world that makes this audio. And the data is right here. And the first thing that happened right from the very first note that I sat down last night was this. Wrong track. Here's the beginning. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the beginning. There's the beginning. Okay, so this is what we sat down to last night. Sorry about that. Okay, now I want you to listen to that again, please. I want to show you something. Just sitting down, moving my hands. Hi, Astro Poet. Now, I'm sitting on the bench right there. That's the time that's passing. And I'm hearing that. Now watch what happens when it comes up again. Now I'm feeling in a different direction. Now here it comes. There it is. Now I'm moving the progression around. I'm trying not to think of what notes should come next. I'm just, let's see what happens, right? To come across that harmony and that melody right there off the cuff is kind of a tell that there's something getting ready to happen here. This is me moving around, stretching. When you hear me wander into some territory like that, it's not a question of trying to create filler. I'm like, oh, what is this? And the point, thank you, Sharon. Wow. It's just a melody. I don't know that it is what I'm trying to see in a situation like this. Okay, so when we talk about the creative practice that I'm using here, what we have there in this list is something called a splurge. You see that column? This is what that classifies as. But now that I've taken note of it, and I got a lot of feedback from so many of you, wow, there's something there, I've designated it as bookmarked. Okay? And a bookmark goes into this sketchbook right here. You see this? Now I want you to really cue in on this, the people, those among you who really want to know what's going on here with me. Now, when I scroll down through this sketchbook, just like this track has shown something there, you know what I mean? There's something there, big question mark. Not all tracks make that decision. That's why there's still, there's some that aren't marked as bookmarks. See these color codes in here? That's how I mark a bookmark. See that gold bar right there? Every one of those gold bars is a bookmark, and every other color is further along in the process. It's just hanging out and waiting. Okay? I know this is only as it's only as confusing as we sometimes make it. All these are locations. These are zip codes that identify where the music's living right now and how far away it is from a possible destination of a release. Okay? That's all. Nothing more. And each one of these zip codes has a certain series of systematized things that I set up a structure that allows it to roll forward to the next destination and a waypoint in the navigation. So now with this track, right, what I want to do is something called a discovery, okay? And in this situation, I just want to read these things to you. A splurge, these are just some of the guidance, verbal guidance I use in this situation for myself. A splurge could be anything from a tiny scrap of an idea to a fully formed arrangement. It just happens. But no matter what the state of the idea is in giving myself some time to play and experiment with the idea is essential. So in discovery, I'm splurging on top of the splurge, playing with it, turning it inside out, doing the opposite, trying different things. And why am I doing this? Why? What is the goal here? What's the end game? The end game is finding a purpose inside of here. Now, this thing already, right off the bat, has exhibited possible purpose. As a matter of fact, I should probably jostle over here for a second and create a discover card for this right now. Now, this card that I'm creating, this is where this project will live for its life, is on this individual card. It might not stay in this stack, but I'm just going to label this March 1, 2024 for now so that we can move as quickly as possible. There will be some more essential elements, and I'm going to label it. It's both a bookmark and now a basic discovery. It's moved from bookmark to basic discovery. Okay. Here's a possible purpose. Okay. It's such a very... Guys, Jace, you really are such a Virgo, and I love it. Well, I've added to this system, but this systematization is also a technique that I have developed with a coach who designs things in a way that pulls on your strength. See, here's the common misconception in this whole thing. You know, this is one I hear a lot, and I'm not by any means saying anybody here is thinking this. This is just a natural gut reaction to seeing something like this, right? So when you see me sitting in this room and I'm in front of this piano and I'm, just leaving body kind of thing, which is not really an accurate thing. The thing is, I'm really here. I'm not escaping into another world. I'm really present right here when these moments are happening. I'm listening to what's actually happening and not my thoughts about what is happening. And I'm thinking about, do they like it? Do they not? You know, I'm trusting that ultimately what really matters is that I am authentically here inside of this when I'm doing this. If I can do that, if I can find that place and I can stay in that place, that's where this lives. Now, getting back to you, Charlotte, this is a thing that people sometimes, and I'm not saying this is you. What you're saying is making me think of this. People see this system and they think to themselves, well, that really kind of takes some of the fun out of this, doesn't it? I mean, geez, a whiz. Or they think, oh, it looks like a little bit too much thinking and not enough feeling and none of... And that's not it at all. That happens right up front at 90 minutes a day at golden hour. But you don't get from this. Without evolution. So how do you do it? How do you move forward without losing the beautiful thing that you started with? This is all part of this thing. Getting back to where we were on this track, I'm going to focus in on this now. Okay. So this could be anemic. Not this. So let me listen to this for a second. Okay, hang on there. This is me finding it now. I see you. So what happens in a situation like this is we get in orbit around something. It's almost like a planet of purpose. What do I mean? Well, these tracks are seeking to express a purpose. What is a purpose? A purpose is a story. A purpose is an expression, a person you used to know, a feeling you used to know, or a feeling you're yearning for, or something being a very clear expression of an idea, of a meaning, a scene, right? I'm looking for vivid expressions that I can clearly hear. Okay, that there's meaning coming through there for me. I'm picking up, my sensors are picking up meaning. And each one of these things, when I come into a situation like this, and I cascade down out of this kind of stuff, just bear with me here, because this is really how this feels. I'm around here now. I'm moving around pretty downward we go. I'm coming down to a purpose here. It's almost like I'm not trying to make this a space thing, but it's like orbiting a planet and touching down on it for a minute. I mean, it's not in the science fiction way, but in the operative way. Well, that's a chord right there. That's a monster. Listen to that. Wait, not that one. Boy, that'll wake you up in the morning. So, okay, so here we go. Here we go. Okay, what the hell was that? I mean, and I want to give this its own colorful designation here, because those kind of introductory progressions can be tricky to manufacture. It's something that's effective, and the harmonic development inside of there is nothing to shake a stick at. It's not, radical or anything like that, but there's good quality tension inside of there with these minor seconds that are happening. It's something to experiment with. But listen to that. It goes right into the theme then. Hi, Heather. Okay, so now I'm leaving. Move around, fingers. What's our next destination? This is keep the spontaneity going. That doesn't necessarily mean I want that in this composition. Now, the reason this works the way it does is because I'm in an environment here at Golden Hour when I'm doing this that is for the greatest, with the greatest amount of gratitude. It's an environment that allows me to not have to be perfect. It allows me to simply be. Without that element in there, I would have to do this behind closed doors. But then, once I move behind closed doors, there's a little shade of a performative aspect of being behind an instrument in front of other people that also gets the door shut to it. Okay? There's like a part of it where I'm just saying, when I sit down and everything, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. I just got to surrender to it. It's like, I don't know. There's a part of it that's like jumping out of an airplane for the first time every time because of the unknown and the fact that you're about to share unknown on top of it all. That is like a little bit like jumping out of a plane for the first time every time. But only that much of it. Not like the real, jumping out of a plane thing, but there is. The parachute's going to work. It's going to be all right. Yeah, it's going to feel freaky. Get ready. Let's go. 4 or 5 seconds after the free fall starts to happen, you start looking around and thinking, oh my God, this is so cool. I can see for 100 miles. And it helps me to be able to carry on in this manner. I wish I could play piano. I played a recorder once. That was a fail. There's a South Park episode about the recorder. Have you ever seen it? It's a good one. Yeah, that instrument can be painful. I would think that I've heard many a sound in the world, but listening to a group of second grade level students that have as much time spent trying to play an instrument as 20 minutes a week at recorder class for their music class. What happens is everybody's playing a different note at the same time. And it literally is like, it's, for me, that sound is like when you see in the movies when an artillery shell goes off in a battle and the soldier is like shaken up and it's like in their ear and everything's moving in slow motion. Oh, I'm sorry. I just had to share that memory with you. It came back to me. Yes, G-Dog. Yeah. They do every episode, don't they? All right. Let's shutty and play, Jace. Sorry. Okay. Something about this. I should shorten them. Just gonna listen to this for a second. Oops. Sorry about the gold bars. Just ignore those. This is Logic. G-Dog. Hey, David, it's nice to see you. Something living in there. Time warp? Am I time warping? Who's time warping? Okay, love it. Awesome. I just want to trying to see what the deal is in there. Where did you go? Where did you go? There you are. I found you. Oh, it's so good to see you again. Okay, that's a powerful contrast right there. That's an unexpected contrast, and that's okay, so that's going back to because that's the second time that's showed its face. That was unexpected. Where did he go? That's the purple one there. Okay. I see you. You can't hide from JC, Mr. Melody. Okay. This progression seems to want to come back more than once. Okay, so again, this is other powerful introductory statements. These are statements that location can shift. Okay, so then we have thank you. Thank you, Hall. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Cynthia. Very emotional. Thank you. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you. Ooh. Ooh, Mamacita. Oh. There it is. Contrary motion. That's what I thought I had in there somewhere. I'm sorry, I don't mean to stop it on you. This is just, I gotta do this. I want to flag this up at the top with a marker. I'll show you what I mean. Where is it? Right here. Okay, I want to start here at the beginning of this. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not on the right screen. Jeez, Jace, nice job. Sorry. Sometimes to me, these tracks have, sometimes in movies they call it an Easter egg. Oh, I found an Easter egg. This is something that's embedded in the film that is supposed to have some fourth wall meaning that has something else to do with a director or an actor or something, a memento, a trinket, a added little thing that the producers are putting in there to give people things to search for in films that are hidden behind, shadows and everything else. Easter eggs that give more meaning to something that people love. Well, in this particular case, an Easter egg for me in tracks like this that cracks open the voicing of what's happening and allows it, instead of reaching out to you like this, it comes from like this. It's more enveloping. Okay? It's more and I just want to search around in here for this for a second. I think that is such a good opening. Okay, now you hear what I'm talking about. Did you hear that voice going downward? Hang on a sec. Usually, a good way to find this type of a melody is to sing it. And I'm talking instrumentally. And with your voice. That sounds good to me, G-Dog. This is just one vision of expressivity. Okay, so there's definitely possibilities in there for breakaway material. So that is a nice breath of fresh air. Thank you, Sharon. This needs to be fast-tracked, Jace. All right, Cynthia, thank you. It's a go, Jace. It's already here. Stands and rolling in my brain. Charlotte, thank you. So when I go back to this green color, it's kind of a default color. I don't know what I'm doing in here. You know what I mean? I'm probably just making some noise. What are you going to call it for reference? Sharon, that's a good question. Right now, I've been calling it anthemic, because to me, there's something, when I say anthemic, it naturally means people think of the Star Spangled Banner or something like this. It's not nationalism that makes something anthemic, or flags and things like this. What makes something anthemic is the feeling that it stirs, like this is leading somehow to, with strength, something like this, it's something to feel. There's a sense of devotion in there somewhere. Devotion, trust, maybe even a smattering of protection and something. It's It's a starter name, you know? Oh, Cynthia, thank you. That must be where I stopped. And now, at this point in the show last night, I've probably started talking here. And that's why. See, this is how I'm doing this now. So what you see when you see the show is you see a video and that audio is being recorded. But here, this is different. I have the audio, but I'm back to formula on the digital information so that when I want to, I can move notes around. I can do everything from that take last night. Am I making sense to you? These things you see here, these are digital notes, these dots that you see. And when I sit here and I go like this and I let that play and I lean over here and I go like this. That's what you see on Golden Hour. But here, back here, what is happening